Jaden Amjadi coming to you from the Drops My YouTube channel. We are doing a vinyl update. You will see the records that have recently been added to my highly esteemed collection. Whether it's from stores that I've been to, shows that I've been to, things that were gifted to me. And then I'll give a few details on each one as we go through it. First one, Talking Heads, Fear of Music. Legendary post-punk outfit, Talking Heads. A band that and this is maybe a little bit embarrassing to say and may hurt my credibility. Besides singles, I hadn't really taken a deep dive into Talking Heads, and I realized that this deep dive was long overdue. I saw this in a record store for around $12 used. It's not in terrible condition. The record plays fine. The record's in great condition. Although the center has some writing on it. People like underlined their favorite songs and crossed out a song that apparently they didn't like on it. Yeah, it plays well, but I got it for like $12. I saw this and I'm like, you know, it's about time. It's about time I got into Talking Heads. Fantastic, very groovy bass lines under those traditional classic Talking Heads frantic vocals. Good stuff. Next up we have another classic rock album that changed the game. Slint, Spiderland, and I realize that we're going to get some glare on this because I do have my record condoms on, but gotta keep them protected. Basically, change the genre on this. You have some, in a way, spoken word with some these winding post-rock instrumentals under it. Creates a very dark tone. Really makes you feel like you're being transported to some mysterious, spooky, dark place that you can just kind of get lost in and explore. It's really nice stuff. We have a completely different change of pace, although it still is in the indie rock spectrum. We have a single 12-inch Postal Service. We Will All Become Silhouettes. Postal Service is a band that I've been familiar with for quite a while now. Although, of course, they only had one album, they also had these singles that they released from basically just the singles from the record, and it also comes with some exclusives, such as this one, of course, has Be Still My Heart, and then it has a remix of Nothing Better. Yeah, great single, just a fantastic track. Pavement, Slanted and Enchanted, essential, what I suppose slacker rock is what you'd call this. Pavement's Slanted and Enchanted inspired so many bands that I love today. Parquet Courts, so much of Parquet Courts comes from Pavement. So if you're not familiar with Pavement, and you really ought to be, check out. This was their debut album. Fantastic songs on here, both from a pop appeal direction. I mean, it has some catchy songs, but also it has some very quirky elements to it. Check it out. Another album I've loved for a very long time, Modest Mouse's The Moon and Antarctica. And I've wanted to get this one for a very long time, but what's always prevented me from it is that for whatever reason, whenever I see this record in stores, it's expensive. It's like $30-something, and I'd rather just get something cheaper. But I have loved this album for a very long time. I saw it one day and I'm like, it's time, you know? This is a record I need to have in my collection. I love it. I listen to it all the time. In my opinion, possibly Modest Mouse's best album. Rivaled, sure, by Lonesome Crowded West, but you know, that's a debate for another day. Fantastic indie rock album. Genre-defining indie rock album. Next up, I have a vein of Jeff Rosenstock records, two of his solos and one from Bomb the Industry. First, and check this out, Signed! Oh yes, indeed. And I'm going to show you this because let me tell you something about the folks over at Side One Dummy, the label. I have a few Side One Dummy records, and they all have fantastic pressings of their vinyl. This one, man, it's hardly even the camera just doesn't do it justice, but it really is this beautiful deep blue, and that's just really cool. The 2015 release that made me realize that maybe punk can be catchy. And then of course his release from 2016 too, Worry, which also has a fantastic pressing. What on earth? What is this? Some kind of strange splatter? Awesome pressing. Side One Dummy, keep doing your thing, man. I love you, Side One Dummy. You make the dopest pressings. And then Bomb the Music Industry. This was a surprise when I saw this in the record store. First off, I mean, if I was to see any Bomb the Music Industry record, I expect it to be Vacation or something like this, or for something like that. But Scramblin', that was a surprise. But yeah, Scramblin', I saw it in a record store. I believe it was in Ohio. I was like, well, shoot, I gotta pick this baby up. This is a classic Bomb the Music Industry album. It might have been a little bit before they hit their stride, but when I see Jeff Rosenstock doing his thing, it's hard for me to say no. I love the dude. This was another thing I actually got from that same record store. Elliott Smith Deluxe Edition of Either Or. Not my first Elliott Smith record. I also have Roman Candles and his self-titled, but like many other people my age in their teen years, this was likely the first Elliott Smith album. This was the first Elliott Smith album that I heard. If you're older than me, you probably heard his other classics before this, but you know, as a youth, just discovering other types of music that weren't played on the pop radio stations, this was the first. So it was nice to get the deluxe edition. Usually it's very expensive. I got this one used, so it was closer to $20, which was pretty solid. Get the normal, fantastic Either Or, very beautiful acoustic cuts. So quiet, it kind of just makes your heart twinge with every single note. And then there's a little live performance and some bonus tracks on another LP, so that's very nice. And here's one that you will not be seeing the actual cover art for because it's hidden. This is No Love Deep Web by Death Grips, and if you are familiar with No Love Deep Web, if you are familiar with No Love Deep Web by Death Grips, you know why there is a black protector over this record. Industrial, hip hop, crazy noise, hip hop, rap trio, underground, doing their thing. Death Grips, second full-length album. I believe that Ex-Military isn't really considered an album, it's more of a mixtape. But, so yeah, that would make this the second full-length album of theirs. And now it's mine. And one last record, Aesop Rocks, Labor Days. I believe his second full-length album, but I think this was probably what kind of got him more fame. Not fame, but you know, as far as the underground goes, kind of brought him to light a little bit more than his first album did. This is just a fantastic meditation on labor itself. We get tracks about just like the motivation it takes to keep going through the days when you're working a expletive 9-to-5 job. And Aesop, you know, he comes in with his fantastic voice, New York raised voice, wordy. If you like your hip hop wordy, if you like your hip hop with a bit of a boom bap beat, because Blockhead is on the production. He does all the producing on this album, so yeah, you ought to check it. And that is all for this vinyl update. I hope you enjoyed. You can see my previous vinyl videos. I'm assuming you've already seen them if you're watching this, but perhaps you just saw this and you were like, I will take a gander at what this young man has to offer. You can watch those. You can go to my channel, check out the rest of my videos. I do reviews on albums and stuff like that. Just talk about music. This has been Jaden Amjadi on the Drops Mike YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.